come from an accident that felt so small at the time.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. All right. Mic check 1 2. I am in the house. Let's get it popping. Let's get it rolling. Karmelo, Anthony, and Austin. The update on that, and then I'm gonna do three things. I'm gonna give you the update on Austin. No, his name was Karmelo Anthony, right? And he killed Austin. I forget Austin's last name, but he killed Austin down in Texas. I'll give you the update on that. I'm also giving you the update on the Nolan Wells deal. And then after that, we'll talk about some good old gambling, the sports books, and taking on Vegas. Those son of a guns, Vegas, they are. All right. All right. So the breaking news on the Carmelo Anthony deal. Guys, I didn't really know too much about the Carmelo Anthony deal, right? He's in jail for murder. It's for self-defense. He killed, was it Austin? I forget Austin's last name. I can bring it up. Yeah, Austin Metcalf, the Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf story. And it actually, guys, it's it's a sad story. It's a sad story because actually you have two young men who pretty much was on a two totally different young men, but like on the same path for destruction, right? It was like two freight trains going at each other. Now, now that's my perception of what I read and everything. I I listened and collected notes on Austin Metcalf, and then I did one on Carmelo Anthony just to find out what's up on those two individuals. They both had their troubles, right? They both were young men, right? So when I take on a case, not a case, but when I take on a subject and I talk about a subject, I like to be fair, right? I like to be fair to both parties, right? Everybody deserves that treatment, right? So you're not gonna hear me hollering, this guy needs justice, and then for somebody else, whatever, who cares? What's good for one person is good for the next person. But the Carmelo Anthony and Austin, what's his name, Austin Metcalf, it was two guys in trouble. I had some information on Carmelo, right? How because he would send text messages to his girlfriend that was disturbing, but talk is cheap, right? He would threaten his girlfriend. He said he would slap girls, and I think he even assaulted a teacher once, right? He had a lot of questionable, dark things in his past. Okay, but guess what? Austin Metcalf had the same things. He also assaulted a teacher, cursed teachers out, um, make racist remarks. It was a kind of a he had some trouble. He had problems too, and see that's what I mean, guys. When you don't have any proper guidance, this is what happens. I was listening to one guy saying, well, because his parents didn't show up, and I guess he was hosting a podcast show, so I just try to listen to as many shows as I can and try to get as much information as possible. But one of the guys goes, "Well, if Carmelo was my son, he would have never been in that situation." Well, that was the only good thing that was the only thing that I pulled out that I figured I would touch on, right? Um, First of all, you can't say if he was your child, he wouldn't be in that situation. I guess the young man who said that must not have a child or a kid, or the kid is a baby, because you can't say what your child is going to do or what they're not going to do. Because the same when as soon as you say, "I'm gonna when I have a child, my child wouldn't even be involved in that," you can't say that. You cannot say that. And you older guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You could probably hope and wish and pray, right? But you can't say that. You can't say what your kid is not gonna do, and your kid wouldn't be in that situation. Nah, whoever the guy who said that he doesn't have any kids or his kids aren't of age yet, right? So yeah, that's kind of the wrong thing to say. But nevertheless, the way I see this situation with the Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, and I know a lot of you guys might be like me and ignorant to it of what's going on and whatnot. Now, here's the only part that becomes racist with this. I guess they had a gentleman's deal that neither one of these guys would bring up either one of their past. And then I guess somebody reneged on the deal and they brought up both paths. I mean, both of these guys passed. The way I see it, it just should have canceled itself out. You got one kid that's in jail. You've got one kid that has lost his life, right? So how do we handle that? We handle it by what I'm doing right now today because I had a video about Austin, but I'm not going to play that out of respect for Austin. He's dead, right? So my grandmother always taught me never speak ill upon the dead. I'm not going to do that. We don't know if Austin had changed his ways. We don't know that because he's not alive, right? To for, I don't know. Some people might have seen it and might say he still was still was going down that same road, but um, I don't know. I'm just not going to speak on him because he's not alive. And even Austin. And I guess they say the racist part is that somebody went back on that gentleman's agreement about bringing up both of these guys' past. I guess they brought up Carmelo Anthony's past. And his past was pretty shaky as well. Um, then I also listened to one young lady and she was like, "Why? Why this and why that?" And I'm like, man, young cats, man, asking questions why. Um, it's because, man, it's just how the world turns, right? Life can be shitty, life can be great. I don't want to piss anybody off either way. Now, when you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm gonna call it. But one guy has lost his life, right? Even like with the Austin Wells deal, he lost his life. So I don't, and just to attack him and his parents is absurd. It's actually crazy because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to what's his name Austin because some people may say, "Oh, he had it." No, no, no. He's got a mother. He had a father. He had a brother. No matter how much you guys may hate someone or may think they deserve something, you're not God, and it's not up to you to say that that person deserves anything. You just look at it for what it is, that Carmelo Anthony deal. And if somebody wants to get on here and set me straight, you can do it. I mean, have at it. But anytime somebody loses a life, I'm not gonna say much, man. I'm not gonna say anything ill about the person that lost their life. I'm just not gonna do that. out of respect for the dead, them, right? And out of respect for their parents, their family, and whatnot. Um, it's just the way it goes with me. All right, so now, um, I hope everything gets squared away. I hope things get settled, right? But also, one of the things with the Carmelo Anthony deal, they say when at the court case, his parents weren't even present. Yeah, they say his parents weren't present. They said he's raising all this money. Parents went out and got a house, and it was like fuck Carmelo. So I don't. When you hear stuff like that, I don't see. I'm not like Officer Tatum or no Brandon Tatum. I'm not like him. I just don't jump off into something. You're not gonna hammer me down or nail me down to being one type of person because I'm not like that. If you're wrong, I am not going to uphold wrong or anything that's close to it. Or if I see it's even, you know, it sounded like it was self defense, right? It sounds like it was self defense. Um, but when you so I guess when you look at everything, it looks like self defense. It probably should have been self defense, right? But when you pull in Carmelo Anthony's past, you're not gonna you're not gonna look at it like you're not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, right? You're just not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And then when you do that, right, then you got to say, well, wait a minute. This other cat, Austin Metcalf, he wasn't, an angel either. So, my opinion, yeah, it's self defense. They go, well, you should have gave him the should have been a jury of his peers. Well, I don't know where he lives at, right? So if he lives in an all black community, if he lives in a mixed community, um, and they didn't get any blacks, well, the prosecution or the prosecution attorney will do that, right? I was on a case once before, and they was this is a while back, and it was two black guys who got in trouble who actually got set up by the cops. Well, they made sure that they put me on the stand because they knew I was going to have sympathy for these guys because they were the same age as I was. And at the time, I wasn't in college. So they said, okay, we're definitely keeping him. It was funny because when they asked me about the case, they asked me a question. And then I go, huh? And I go, what? And everybody started laughing. And I was trying to act like I had a hearing problem, but they didn't go for that. They was like, even the judge started laughing. He says, you're too young to have hearing problems. You're good. Let's go to the next one. Asked the judge, asked the attorneys if they have any problems. They was like, nope. But yeah, so that's how that's going with the court case and then I guess they upheld the 35 years in jail, right? Will he be the first one? No. Will he be the last one? No. The only thing he can do, and I would suggest, is I don't know, man. Everybody has their own journeys in life, so he's gonna have to stay prayerful, and he'll figure out the right thing. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. We can't call it as much as we want to call it. We can't. We can't do it. So everything happens for a reason. Now, let's get on to the Nolan Wells deal. Now, this Nolan Wells thing is this Nolan Wells deal to me is actually becoming sickening because we have all this information against these little fuckers, and these guys are still out here fucking around, right? They fucking around, running around, shooting their mouths off, and nobody's called them on it. Huh. You put those guys in Miami, You put him in Florida. You put him in Atlanta. My God, you put him in Memphis. You even move him and put him in Jackson, Mississippi. That's up north, in the middle of the state. You do good police work, these guys would have been in jail a long time ago. They'd have been in jail a long time ago, but nobody's doing any real police work. And so, with that being said, the state of Mississippi is looking incompetent, Keystone Copish, right? Like the Keystone Cops. But here's the deal. When you have somebody that's dishonest and they're not right and they're dishonest and they're not honorable, this is what they do. They take things and they flip it because they're trying to get the blame and the spotlight off of them. They think that if they accuse that person, then they can try and get themselves off. Because whatever they've been doing in life, this has been working for them. They've been doing this before. But here's the deal. This is not mommy and daddy, right? This is the United States of America. So when you start all this lying and all this other bullshit, you can lie, right? You can tell the biggest lie, and you can sit up and lie and just think you're one of the best liars. It's always going to come back and bite you in the booty. That's just how that goes. And you have everything lined up. You have everything perfect, right? But one small chain reaction or one small action will send everything haywire. You might be planning on going to the gym, right? Go meet your buddies and talk to them. Somehow or another, something happens. You get a little earthquake. Peanut butter falls off the counter. You go to pick it up, but you go to look and see it broke because it's a glass peanut butter jar. Now you got to clean it up. You just missed that person at the gym that you needed to talk to, and all kind of stuff just goes haywire, all because of a peanut butter jar falling off the counter. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just making a point. Anything can happen. I'm not saying something like that exactly, right? But anything can happen like that. Well, in the case now, in the Nolan Wales case now, Nolan Wales was spotted on a boat, right? With those guys. So now they got a picture of the guys on the boat with Nolan Wales. That just surfaced this morning, right? Now, let me go in here and go to my notes so I can look and see because I had to write some stuff down. Okay, so I guess they just found out that the boat was taken to the judge's house to get cleaned. And everybody's yelling and screaming, well, yeah, of course they took the boat, Bart's boat, to the judge's house because she knows what to use in order to clean the boat to get rid of the evidence because she's a judge, right? Then they also found out, right, that the governor, the Mississippi governor, the one that said is that they didn't find any signs of foul play. He said this may be July. As soon as they found Nolan, was July 5th or the 6th. As soon as they found Nolan, judge comes out and goes, we don't find any signs of foul play. The governor of Mississippi. Well, they're just finding out that him and that judge, where that boat went, they're good friends. The judge and the governor are good friends. Now watch this, guys. That's that's covering. That's a cover up. You see the cover up. You see it coming, right? Now, here's my opinion. The longer those two keep running their mouth, getting in the court, getting in that case, getting in the business, they're gonna get themselves in lots and lots of trouble. If it's me, I'm just gonna stand up. I'm just gonna get away from it altogether. I'm gonna have somebody step in for me because of my situation with the judge. I mean, my situation with the governor and my situation with my son being my stepson. I'm getting myself out of this. And she could have did that a long time ago. She's a judge. She knows the rules, right? She knows the rules. But the reason she didn't get out of it is because this is what they do down in Mississippi. When they're wrong, they want to change the narrative. And if they change the narrative, then it's not true. And everybody goes on about their business, right? But that doesn't always go that way, right? It might have went that way for a while, but the bill always comes due. Fucking always come due. So now people finding out that you're cool. This ain't the 80s, man. This ain't the 90s. People are on to you guys down there in Mississippi. And not only are they on to you, you guys are stupid. I don't like to say that about people, but the governor, the sheriff, the head sheriff, the judge, right? Brandon Tatum, he's an idiot, right? And Brandon Tatum, what he doesn't understand is a lot. He's playing a dangerous game, right? I don't even think that he see it the way I see it or a lot of other people see it. Dude, you putting your nose in something that you shouldn't be putting your nose into. Is number one, is bigger than you. You making mockery of people. You making mockery of black people, and you making mockery of white people. You're gonna get yourself hurt doing that. They know you playing both sides. Nobody's stupid. They know it. And like I said before, you putting your family in an uncompromising position. Fuck that. In a bad position. Man, that's not good. Yeah, Judge denied trial for Carmelo Anthony. I just got onto that. I haven't been up on that. He, and so here's the deal with that. It's kind of, I'm gonna be flipping back and forth. It's like once you open up that door, you can't close it because everybody knows about Carmelo Anthony now. But you shouldn't have brought that up because both of them had fucked up passes, and it had nothing to do with what those two did that day. The guy attacked and what's his name, Anthony, Carmelo Anthony. Austin attacked him. Man, that's a tough one right there, baby. But you just can't bring both of their passes into it. So now you got a mess. Now you got a mess down there. You got a huge mess. A lot of people say it's race. Yeah, I can see that too. Because you had a deal, and the deal was don't bring these guys passes into it. Well, if you don't bring their pass into it, your man gonna get off. Carmelo Anthony is gonna get off on self defense, right? But you want to say how fucked up he is, right? Yeah, he was fucked up. But Austin was fucked up too. I got a video and it was seeing all of the shit that Austin was doing and stuff like that, right? But like I said, I'm not playing it. I mean, if you want to go look it up, you can. But they both was fucked up. Both had fucked up passes. They both of them did. But where Austin screwed up at, Austin told him to leave him alone or don't touch him. Austin told him, dude, if you touch me, you will see. And I guess, Austin was that big bad guy. And, unfortunately, things went down like that. My personal opinion on the whole thing, they probably, shit. Yeah, I mean, give them a new case. A lot of people really don't know too much about it. But you can't bring both of their past in it. But you know what? It's kind of too late, right? So who knows? Everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Now, that's not an open and shut case. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. They don't know about that story. And it's actually kind of complicated. It's compared to Nolan Wales, it's kind of complicated. Right? Wales' story is not complicated. Because see, now everybody's finding out that they've got this cover up going on, and everybody knew it the way they were acting. And now they found a picture of the boat, right? They found a picture of Nolan Wales on the boat with all those guys. And you want to hear something else funny? Guess who was on the boat with Nolan Wales? Bart. Isn't that Bart, the same Bart that they said all he did was come tow? But in the beginning, Bart was in Wyoming. Bart was in Montana. Now all of us, and then now Bart goes, well, I just did this. I didn't know the girl. I told you guys from day one, Bart was, when I found out, when they said his name in the background, I said, there go your murderer right there, right? Oh, you just can't accuse somebody. Well, I did. I like to see them fuckers send me a cease and desist. Good luck. Because you're going to get this dude off. And now since all this stuff is coming out, I'm telling you guys, it's not going to be good for Bart in that locker room, man. Bart needs to just bring his ass home and sit down because he's going to be up in Wyoming shanking punts. That's what he's going to be doing. Nobody's going to have to touch him. He's probably going to be shanking 3 and 4 punts, fumbling the ball. They're probably running into his ass in practice. I wish I knew somebody up there who can give me a report on how practice is going for him. You're not bigger than the universe. Nobody is bigger than the universe. It's amazing to me how people think that they can do wrong and then they can change the narrative. It doesn't work that way. I was schooled by my granny. I swear to God, and this is on baby Jesus. My grandmother would always tell me, if you did that and so and so and so, and you did that, that happened. And she used to always tell me, you might get away with it. Nobody may not even see you. The cops may not see you. You might have no witnesses. You think you done got away with it scot-free. She says, my words, I always say the universe sees you. She's a Christian lady. She said, God sees you and God sees everything. God sees you, right? But it's kind of funny because me and my grandmother would always have that conversation where she was like, he knows everything. And I'm like, well, who is he? She goes, God. And I go like, oh, well, how do we know he's a he? That was the only thing I would argue with her about on a lot of other stuff. And then, sometimes she would go, well, the scriptures do say this, but my granny was open, right? She says, but God can be a female. You don't know. That's my theory. If you ever hear me say God and refer to God as a he, then that means some aliens have planted something in my head. Because I don't think that God is I don't say he. Well, the Bible says, well, you got to remember, man wrote the Bible. How many times it's been translated, right? So I never say that. But nevertheless, I digress. My granny would always say, you may think you've gotten away with it. Nobody's seen you. She says, but God's seen you. And she said, and when it's time to pay, you're going to have to pay that bill. For what you did, you're going to have to pay for it. And I go, well, what about all the guys that rob banks and get away with it and there's no witnesses anywhere in sight? She says, yeah. She says, that happens all the time. She says, but guess what? Some way, somehow, they'll pay for it. You may not know about it. You may hear about it. But the bill always come due, she said, right? Or she said it always comes due. God, guys, I'm serious when I say this. You can holler, that's racism. You can holler, that's sexism. You can holler, that's not fair. Don't worry. The universe balances everything out because that's the order of things. Think about it like this, guys. Think about it like this. You have thousands upon thousands of planets out here in the universe. In our universe, in our backyard, our universe, you have Jupiter, huge gas planet. It's not a rocky planet, so you can't land on it because it's nothing to land on. It's just it's a failed star, right? So it was supposed to be a star, but it didn't. Never became one, or it just died out. Saturn the same way. So if you think about it like this, if any of those planets that's in our solar system fall off its axis, our whole universe is damned. All kind of shit will happen if Jupiter drops and falls, because Jupiter blocks a lot of shit that comes our way, right? Jupiter blocks a lot of it. Saturn blocks a lot of it, right? Hell, you get too close to the sun is just going to burn it up, right? But think about it like that. In the large scheme of things, these planets hold a lot of weight or hold a lot of significance. These huge, humongous planets. Now, let's equate a huge, humongous planet like Jupiter to the state of Mississippi. Let's not even equate it to the state of Mississippi. Let's equate it to one of the judge in Mississippi. She is so insignificant. You get what I'm saying now? Mississippi is very insignificant. When you become full of bullshit and you think you are better than everybody and you're significant, you will get a wake-up call or you get a check. The universe will check you. Because an individual like Mississippi's judge or those boys, they may not think so, and they'll figure it out later when they're in jail, that they are very insignificant. Mississippi is very insignificant to a lot of these planets and all in the universe of everything that's going on out there. One wrong move by a planet falls off its axis, bye-bye everybody as we know it. Right? No, seriously. You do know that, what was that, Mercury? Mercury goes retrograde. That means it stops turning clockwise and then it goes counterclockwise. Right? That affects a lot of stuff on this earth. Like water. We made up of water, right? The moon. You see what I mean? If you just blow the moon out of the sky, it'll take the earth for a while, but the earth will get fucked up and we'll probably all die. Won't happen right away, but eventually, yeah, we'll all go down the tubes. I digress. Mississippi is insignificant. And when you think you're bigger than life itself, that's when the universe will open up and swallow you fucking whole. and won't even shit you out, right? So that's what's going to happen with Mississippi. People have found out that the judge and the governor good friends. Boom. People found out that Bart was on that boat. They got a picture of Bart on the boat with Nolan Wells. Well, wait a minute. Didn't Bart say he wasn't on the boat with Nolan Wells? Because Bart's a fucking liar. And that stupid coach, and I don't like to be disrespectful like that, but that coach was very disrespectful to a lot of people in Wyoming when he came out and said that he hadn't heard of a murder. He hadn't heard about him having a judge or anything. He's gonna play. Dude, you that disrespectful? You're an idiot. You're disrespectful. I know what kind of coach he is in Wyoming. He's gonna be probably done after this year. He's probably one of those guys that's bullheaded. Well, it worked for me 80, 60 years, and I'm gonna stay with it. And he's right. He'll just stay with it just because that's the only thing he knows. He didn't want to try anything new. But he pretty much is saying, fuck everybody else and their feelings. Fuck the guys in the locker room, his teammates that's black. Fuck them and fuck their feelings. He's staying. Why? Because I said so. All right. That's going to come back and get you, dude. You're going to have to come back and talk to that. Not only is the internet undefeated, the universe is undefeated, right? And you can sit back, you can smack your lips, say whatever, and sometimes a lot of people can become. Yeah, now this is Mississippi, and those, let's say the boys, they know they're committing crimes, they know they're committing perjury. They know they're murderers, right? But they just keep on lying and keep talking shit as if nothing else is going on, right? Like they haven't done anything bad. Like, he's black and we can get away with it. You think so? You really think so? Just keep living and just keep watching, because slowly but surely everything is starting to unwind. And it didn't have to be that way. All we ask is you do good police work. You don't do good police work when you don't like somebody or you're just an outsider and you hate that guy. You do good police work every single day. That's why you took the position. The community will uphold you because the community craves that. Well, we got, you know what? Guess what? Down there, your community is starting to break up because people telling on y'all. Y'all own people dropping dimes on y'all because they sick of y'all. They sick of those racist, rich government people that's down there and that's running everything. People are sick of them. And they, like my buddy, when I called her up and talked to her about it, she goes, you don't know. Everybody's nice. Well, guess what? Yeah. So that same person you laughing and talking to and probably telling all of the business, she probably the one that was sending in them tapes on y'all, bitch ass. That Southern hospitality swings both ways. And you'll never know who's telling on you. But you shouldn't have to worry about who's dropping dimes on you. Do the right thing. Right? Now you're gonna attack this boy's mother. You didn't kill him. Now you're gonna attack his mother. And you steady lying. And if you think about it, guys, you see how much they keep Bart's name out of the news? I'll bring Bart's name up every single chance I get because he's guilty, because he never was supposed to be in it. Because when they said Bart, we're like, who the hell is Bart? Who is this guy? I thought they was talking about Ernie and Bert. I didn't know. It's like, no, he's the punter for Wyoming. Like, And one of those pictures with him, you see him you see some big black guy in back of him. Man, shit. You couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough to play on Wyoming and be in Bart's spot. Hey Bart, man, they looking at you, dude. Bart, keep your head on the swivel, dude. In practice, out of practice, keep your head on the swivel, dude, because somebody gonna get you, man. Or they gonna try to run into you. You better be very careful. You have to be, man. Why? Because you're lying. You telling lies. You didn't murder somebody. You can't murder somebody. When you murder somebody, right? The universe kind of wobbles, right? You ever seen when they're balancing tires and that tire is wobbly when they're running it, but then they put that weight on it to balance it and it smooth it out? That's pretty much how the universe is. Not when someone dies, that's natural. But when someone is killed and it's something really bad, I wouldn't even go that far. You steal from someone, you do something really bad, you blame a person and you know who did it. You know it was you, but you're gonna blame somebody else for it and watch them go down. Well, the universe starts wobbling. But eventually the universe balances itself out. So the universe is going to stop wobbling and it's going to smooth itself out. Guess what? You don't fit in that smoothness. You're not smooth. It's going to spit you right off and kick you right off. I don't know, man. It's just Bart. They found Bart. They got a picture of Bart on the boat. I don't know. They found Bart on the goddamn boat. Bart goes, I don't know that girl. Bullshit. When it first came out and they said that girl, I go, oh, here we go. Right now, some people say, well, it's Mississippi and they were gonna, I don't know, right? So I'm not a psychic, right? You tell me it was a girl involved and she used to go out with Bart and Nolan was popping the cakes. The first thing I'm going to come to is not going to be that Bart's racist. It's going to come to me that Bart is jealous. Yeah. Now, when stuff started getting covered up like this, then you go, yeah, that ain't right. And to be honest with you guys, and I've said this before and I brought this up, Aubrey Wyatt, the young white girl that committed suicide, that's all been pushed to the side, so they think. So they think. That's going to come back up. Ron, where are you getting all this information from? I'm getting it from the universe. The universe talks. Damn right it does. And it speaks very loud. So you see, you could sit back in your quarters. You can worry. You can get pissed. You can say that's not right. And my grandmother used to always tell me that she said, don't worry. She used to always say, don't worry about none of that. You just need to do what you need to do. Leave them alone. Do what you need to do. She said, because God is going to work all of that out. She was never wrong. I tell you that much. She was never wrong. But for some odd reason, those people that's out there that like and used to getting away with stuff in life and lying and pushing the blame on different people, smiling, I'm the good guy. I'm the, what do they call them? The good American boys. And I told you guys it was Bart. And I told you Warren looks crazy and is losing weight because he know what happened, but he trying to hold it down and please everybody. Well, watch this. Here's another lesson. You trying to hold it down for everybody? Yeah, you gonna be holding down a nice old jail cell for everybody too, because Warren fucked. Warren is fucked. Well, he didn't do any. Well, he knew. And Warren is going along with these lies and stuff. And then they even had one of those things on that boat where they would move a string and you could see a hand come up and go down when they move the string. Everybody seen it. Everybody's looking at it. I'm not lying. I wouldn't make anything up like that. I just wouldn't. It's not in me to do anything like that. But it's in those guys doing like that in Mississippi. And kids don't come into this world like that. They are all taught to be that way. You get in trouble, always come see your dad. Your mother's a judge. We'll take care of it. Everything will be fine. Do not bring Bart's name up. Okay. But guess what? Somebody brought Bart's name up and they said, damn it, Bart. That's it. Cat's out of the bag now. And then Bart got pissed, started saying, I'm going to file defamation. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead and file defamation. Because you the lying motherfucker who said you wasn't there. Ain't that a bitch? This motherfucker got caught lying, and now you want to hit people with defamation lawsuits. Good luck to you. Because right now, you don't have time. Because as soon as you go to sit down and file that first defamation lawsuit, they're going to be putting the fucking handcuffs on your bitch ass. And Big Bubba going to be filing something up in your ass, too. I promise you. I'm going to file a defamation. Bitch, please. Fuck you mean you going to file defamation? You about to go to jail, you fucking murderer. You going to jail. Now they didn't caught your bitch ass on the boat. Somebody turned your bitch ass in. They want that money. It's 125 grand. Do you think your bitch ass gonna keep walking around free like that? And people don't have money? Well, and you know what? Watch this. Watch this, guys. If they told me that it was the Grand Wizard of the Clan turned them in, I would believe it. Because when it comes to money, there's no loyalty. Some people you get some loyalty from, and you only see that when you're righteous. And then sometimes you still don't see that, right? Sometimes you be super righteous on top of super righteous, but you still ain't gonna see that loyalty. When it come to money, that's why they put that money out there. That's why Crump put that money out there and he went somewhere and sat his ass down and got him something to drink. He probably got a Mai Tai in his hand every night. Because when they put that money out there, they knew people was going to talk. You think that's somebody black telling? You think that's somebody black that's got a camera that was close up on him like that? Hell no. They'd have beat his ass. He'd have been right along with Nolan. Y'all doing too much, man. Bart is fucked. Bart, if I were you, go ahead and do all the things you want to do. And first of all, if I'm Bart, I'm getting the fuck off that Wyoming football team. Because I wouldn't want to be in that locker room. You know how many of them guys looking at him sideways every single day? And some guys probably going to say, I don't give a shit. He did it. And he probably shanking punts like a motherfucker. Bart probably shanking punts like a motherfucker. And that's because Nolan Wells is blocking your punts. You did good for a minute, Bart. You did good for a minute, but the universe is undefeated. The universe is undefeated. Your parents didn't teach you well. And you know why? Because they weren't taught well. They were taught to lie and steal and cheat. And they tried to pass that shit on to you. Lie, steal, cheat, murder. Murderer. And as soon as they call Bart out, what's the fuck Bart do? Bart, bitch ass, ran and got an attorney for defamation. He ain't scare nobody though. He didn't scare anybody. Bart did not scare anybody. Bart was scared his damn self. Oh, Bart, I thought you weren't there. Yeah, but now now they're saying that you were there. Now they've got a picture of you on the boat on the Mississippi Sound. Boy, you stupid. I don't know what you'll do, but I just tell you like this: you want to stay. If you want everything to go smoother than what it's going. You need to get yourself off that football team because those guys each and every day, it's gonna be more and more guys looking at you sideways. And if they put you in a real simulation to punt, somebody's gonna run into you. They don't care. They don't like you. There's gonna be some people out there saying, "I never liked that motherfucker anyway." Y'all know what I'm talking about. They probably say, "Look at this motherfucker. He over there still on the team with his fake murdering ass. I'm gonna fuck his ass up." You know that's what they saying, right? Watch this. Watch this. Coach gonna be mad. That's Coach's little boy. But watch that. Hey, Coach, put me in on this one. Probably run right into him, and as he run into him, probably grab his face mask. As he going down, he take him down and take the face mask right with him. Guys, I'm looking at I'm just gonna just pivot on over here to these sport books. I am on Fanatics because I got a hot tip, right? And this one young lady told me I need to go to Fanatics. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay on it. And she's also connected to the universe. No, she is a beautiful young lady. She's awesome, right? So she's like me. She believes in the universe, right? Um, whatever you guys want to do, that she's connected. So I listen to anybody that's like me and gives me hot tips. Yeah, I'll listen to it, right? Buddy, who is that? I think when I was younger, and see this is what's so funny, man, because I don't really care about stupid shit. I think my sister went out and told somebody. He says when he was younger, he would talk to himself and he would talk about spaceships. I was a little boy. I was in a house full of women. So a lot of times, if my buddies were down the street and they couldn't come out or whatever, I had to make do with what I had. Right. I even built a robot. Right. It was very creative. Right. So I would get cans and stuff and hey, do what I do. So, guys, if you're out there and somebody ever try to embarrass, well, see, I don't get embarrassed easy. I don't, because I've been through so much in my life that I've seen things that's just bend you over and break you 80 times. That you just have to learn how to deal with it, and you learn how to because a lot of times is you have to learn how to correct your ways. Is like I had to learn how to correct my ways. I'm not that guy. I'm self righteous. No, fuck, no. I'm far from that, right? That's how I know now. And some things I won't. do because I don't want to feel the wrath of the universe. You're going to feel it. You're going to lose a lot of bets, a lot of sleepless nights tossing into fuck that. So, but I did a ticket, right? And I took the Dodgers over Pittsburgh. The score is LA 4, Pittsburgh 3. I took the Dodgers on the money line, and I took Tariq Skubal to throw at least 7+ strikeouts. He's thrown over 7. So I'm good on that. So that's 1, 2. That's 1, 2. And then the rest of them is college. Did I do another one? I didn't. I should have took somebody else, but I didn't. But I just took two lines, and everything else is college football. And if, excuse me, if I win this one, this was like $5,000. Ron, what are you doing? So basically, what I'm doing is I'm giving what Vegas gives. I'm taking what Vegas gives me. There's not too often where you get a lot of games to pick from, right? It's not that often that you can just reach and grab games from today and connect it with games like a week or 2 weeks from now, right? At this point, you can because college football is getting ready to start, and they got them on the bet sheet because Vegas is getting ready too. So just like I'm getting all hyped up and ready to go, Vegas is getting hyped up to take my money or our money if people wants to play. But you have to be smart, right? Many chances you can get. And like I said, that's why a couple of parlays I had looked and I caught. And I said, man, I got the same team appearing in like 3 parlays, and I got pissed. And I said, I got to do something about that. So you have to actually change up and switch up. Do you have to put $40 down? No. I'll be honest with you. Anytime I've ever put down a big amount, I've never won. When I put down a small amount or a medium amount, 25, right? I'll still hit. But when you put down like 100, I've never put 200, right? No hit. It comes close. Ugh, but it don't. Yeah, guys, I just thought that was kind of funny, man. That your man Bart was found on a boat. Bart's an idiot. Bart is stupid. Send me something on there. What do you mean? Um, maybe she's talking. This is my stepmom's. Maybe she's talking about the wrong person. She says she loved me. She'll send me something. She'll send me something on the move. Oh, send me something on the move. Oh, for her. Well, shit, I don't have it. I don't. I should be reading this out loud. I don't have it. Once I get it, I'll send it to you. Once I get it, I will send you something. Guys, you gotta always give, man. Give, 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 give. Right? If you don't give, you can't receive, 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 receive. Take, 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 take. Oh, can I borrow? Can I borrow? Can I borrow? I need this. I need this. I need that. Now, sometimes you have to balance that shit out. If you're the kind, and you can't always like just give, 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 give. So if you're always constantly giving someone something, you have to balance that out as well. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, she's going to fourth. Yeah, I may have something for her by then. But Bart, guys, let me find that guy's picture. Where the fuck is Bart? But you know, guys, I hope a lot of people are paying attention to this, right? No, no, honestly, I hope a lot of people are paying attention to it. You know, a lot of people will say that'll never happen to me. I'm telling you guys, get that out of your vocabulary, right? Get it out of your vocabulary. Because what can't happen will happen, right? I just make sure you get that out of your vocabulary. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm cool. I thought that because I started looking, I'm like, maybe I didn't start the. No, no, I did. Yeah, but there's Bart. That's a goofy looking fucker. Wow. Yeah, that's a goofy fucker. Bart, you're fucked, dude. Get off that football team. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be facetious because you'll mess around and you'll get clothesline. They're gonna run into you in practice. You play Colorado State. You gotta know that they're gonna be gunning for you against Colorado State, dude. Your picture is on that fucking wall or on that pole. You know, some guys they like to put it on the pole. Your picture, just like what I'm posting, they probably got the picture of him posted. I don't feel sorry for this guy because you lied. You weren't even there. You were letting them other guys take the fall. Why? For some odd reason, you think you're better than all of them, right? But you're not, Bart. You're not better than all those guys. You letting your buddies, because a couple of them guys on everybody didn't do it, but now they all did it because they're all covering for you and they're all covering for each other. So they're all fucked, and it's all because of you, Bart. It's all because of you. And they are probably equating this to when they played on the football team in high school and somebody put little Johnny in the locker and put tape around it. He couldn't get out. So now the principal is pissed, yelling and cursing. And now you guys got to come up with the story and you guys are laughing. Well, this ain't high school, motherfucker. This ain't high school. This is shit that's going to get you put away for life. Because now what this is turning into is a hate crime. Hate crime. What is the sentence behind that? Life? Oh yeah, life. Yeah, Bart. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're fucked. Why go on that football field or go in that locker room and you're gonna take punishment even more? Like I said, guys, when it first came out, Bart ran and got an attorney. Well, it started off that Bart was not there, right? Then all of a sudden, the audio came out and somebody said, "Damn it, Bart. Now you fucked because you were supposed to be in Wyoming at first, and then I think they switched it that he was in Montana. No, he wasn't in Montana. He wasn't in Wyoming. He wasn't in Big Sky Country. He was down there watching and trying to find out to make sure, sniffing behind that young lady to make sure that her and Wells didn't do anything. And what happened? Wells probably did her anyway. And that was probably enough for him to see. You know, some guys can be wild like that. You don't know. He was probably down there with her. They probably disappeared, went on the other side of the island or some shit. Somebody probably saw it, went back and told him and he couldn't take it. But they said he was pissed about it from the beginning. But then he lied about it and said he didn't know her. He didn't know who she was. Dude, why are you going to lie when you can eventually get in trouble? Like I said, this ain't high school. This ain't the principal being pissed off and you guys got to come up with an excuse. You got to give a letter, or you guys going to be in detention. No, it's not that. You need to come correct because you're going to jail. And it's going to be life. Now, had you probably just said you fucked up, you probably would have been able to parole after 30 years. But now, dude, you're going to get a life charge. And all of this shit's going to turn into a hate crime. And the more and more your mother or your friend's mother stays involved, which they just found out today, that the judge and the governor are good friends. So that explains why the governor came on the day right after they found Nolan. We have established there's no foul play. Bitch, please. You think people stupid? See, your problem is the governor. You live down there in the backwoods. Go up to Memphis, right? You ain't got to go that far. You can go to Jackson. Go to Atlanta. They're not gonna go with that. Like I said before, you go watch the first 48 hours. Watch a first 48 hour show. You get a lot of good police work on there. They make sure them lazy police ain't. They probably make sure the guys is lazy and don't want to work. They don't put them on there. They put their best. So you get a chance to see good police work. Now, don't get me wrong. You see a lot of good police work on the first 48 hours, but that's not how that always works like that. You're going to see the biggest and you're going to see the best on first 48 hours. But for the most part, I digress. These guys do their jobs. They get a call first thing in the morning. Like the other day I saw a show where some lady came up. It was in Dallas, and they found her on the lake, right off the lake. And I guess she got shot in the head, right? First thing they did, went around, checked the ballistics, talked to people, took notes, found her phone, put paper bags on her fingers, sent her to the coroner, left that place after they had the phone, went straight to her mother's, right? When they get there, that phone is not her mother. That's her friend's mother. You see what I mean? So they making all this headway within like 2 hours. They done made all this headway, right? Not with you guys. Not with Mississippi. You guys ain't, well, we don't even have it. You didn't even investigate, motherfucker. How you know it's not foul play? But see, they caught up in we're Mississippi. We do it the fuck when we want, how we want. Oh yeah? Well, not so much. Not when the world is watching you. When the world is watching you, you're under the spotlight, baby. And that light gets hot fast, don't it? It gets hot real fast. Showtime. And you better put on. You know how you see guys taking themselves out of plays in football. They don't want to play. They don't want to block. In practice, people don't see that, right? But in regular games, not only do people in the bleachers see it, but recruiters see it. And they go, yeah, man, this is Notre Dame. You said that you want to come play with us, but we got some concerns here. We see you taking yourself out of plays. We see you not blocking. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, motherfucker. This is the world of the internet. Back in the day, people would create videos, highlight videos. Because I used to create them for with City Ballers. But one coach told me one time, because I had a tape, I did one for one kid. He said, Ryan, just give me the whole game. I said, you sure? I said, because that's going to save a lot of work for me. Because I said, I have to break down all different plays. He said, Ryan, if you send me all his good plays, I'm not going to see him at his worst. I want to see him at his worst. I want to see him at his best. I want to see what he does in between plays, right? So I sent them the whole game, and they said, this is what we want, right? They was like, thank God for the internet. This was back in 2000, right? I digress. This is the internet. People have cameras. People are going to capture things that you don't think that they're going to capture. You can run, but you can't hide. It's like that, what, Ceto audio? No, nobody knew about Bart. Because they was like, who is Bart? I'm like, what the fuck? Who is Bart? Right? Then Bart came in the picture when they said, damn it, Bart. Within one day, everybody had Bart's like breakdown. Well, he's on his way to the NFL. He's in Wyoming. You know what? Bart, if I were you, just walk away from football right now. Well, I got a game next week. Well, you actually may not have a game next week, right? You might be booked. So save yourself the agony of getting ran into. Save yourself the agony of people laughing at you because you're shanking punts. Trust me, guys, he's going to be shanking a whole bunch of punts. He will be, I say mean shaking a punt. If you're not familiar with football, shanking means you kick it, but you kick it off the side of your foot and it goes somewhere odd, like you didn't kick it right. Because your bitch ass is nervous. They're going to get him in practice. Can you imagine? And I put that picture up before about all those different guys that he's got to play behind. That he's got to see in the locker room. Dude, half of those guys in that locker room is black. And they all look like, guess who? Nolan Wells. Your life's already fucked up. You ain't got to make it that much harder. Because after they found out and they got that picture with you being on a boat with Nolan Wells, because you told people you weren't on the boat with Nolan Wells. Didn't he say that? Absolutely did. And now we got a picture. Let me see if I can. I'm going to grab that picture. A picture of Bart, right? A Bart on the boat with Nolan Wells. Yeah, I should find that. I'm talking, but with Nolan Wells. Let's look at it. Because they sure found it. And a lot of other stuff came out, especially with him being connected, or his, the judge being connected with the governor. But I'll be honest with you guys, that I figured that shit out a long time ago. That didn't like, I wasn't shocked. So if I go on the internet now and I go to look and I put in a picture of Bart, right? It's not going to give me anything, right? Because those pictures were never turned over. Those pictures weren't supposed to be turned over. They didn't know that anybody had those pictures out there. Well, duh, because you had a lot of people that's been threatening you guys, telling you, I guess they thought it was a joke, because people just kept saying, hey, look, if you don't do the right thing, we're going to turn you in. And I guess they might have thought that these guys was joking around, because let me see, I still can't find that picture. It's not. Let me see if I can find it on AI. It's so sad to see Nolan Wells' mom's crying like this. But it's all about Bart. It's all about Bart, because Bart is a chosen one. Well, punters come. You get a punter anywhere. Anywhere. You're not special, Bart. You're not special. You go around telling these guys we're brothers, and then come to find out you're a murderer. Get rid of this. And see, the coach in Wyoming, he's stupid, because maybe they could win this first game against Colorado Springs. They probably could win this first game. But they're not going to win it, not with all of this going on in the locker room now. Just came out now that they've got a picture of Bart now. So I put it in AI, right? AI goes, there's no way to verify public photo match, blah, 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 Bart on Nolan boat, Bart and Wells, or Nolan Wells on Bart's boat. Yeah, right. You're not going to get that right away, but it's out there, right? You go on not Instagram, but TikTok, and man, TikTok is all over the place. They got all kind of shit on TikTok. I went on there. I'm like, my head is starting to hurt. But yeah, this is no widely confirmed clear still image of Bart on board with Nolan Wells. Well, tomorrow you won't be saying this AI. AI, you will be sucking me off tomorrow. Can I say that? Yeah. Yeah, nope. No, he was on board, AI. Trust me. There's a picture. AI is kind of creepy because sometimes you'll find yourself arguing with them, right? And if you get a certain robots will help you out. Some robots will just be total jackasses and want to argue with you. And I go, because I was getting ready to tell one, well, fucker, last week that's not what you said. Then I have to stop and remember, okay, that's probably another bot. At this stage. Yeah, Mr. Bart is in trouble. He's in big trouble, guys, because he's on that boat and he's got a lot of explaining. My thing was, why worry about what somebody is saying about you, right? He got pissed off and he goes, well, I wasn't on that boat with Nolan. Um, you guys are giving me a bad name. I'm gonna get you guys are defaming me. I'm gonna go get an attorney. Well, before you get that attorney, make sure that you're not being defamed because you're not being defamed. You're not. You're actually you're actually defaming yourself. Is what you're actually doing. You're actually defaming yourself. I've never seen somebody so stupid. Okay, so the picture that I just put up, oh God, it changed. One of the pictures that I had up, it's got a picture of Bart, and he's got that thing over his face, right? Add to stage. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna show it though. Yeah, you see that one? Let's see the first one. So um, the first picture that's in the left hand corner with the mask over his face. That's the mask. I mean, that's the picture that I was talking about, where it's look like he's a defensive end that's like right behind him, and it's very unfortunate that he's holding up a boot or some sort. I don't know if it's an award for the whole team winning or for him being a good punter. They say he's a good punter, right? But it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's almost like how the guy he didn't went out and got busted cheating on his old lady, or vice versa. The old lady then got caught cheating on her husband, and somebody will confront her and say, "Well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Wasn't me." Well, sooner or later, one of those fuckers is gonna have to fess up. I mean, because eventually it's gonna get out, right? So at some point, well, that's Bart. At some point, dude, yeah, you keep saying it wasn't you. You didn't do it. You've been caught in so many different lies. And then, like I said, guys, if you noticed, If you've noticed, Bart, they haven't mentioned Bart's name in a while. You know why? Because they're trying to keep that fucker clean. But you can't. The universe is going to take care of all of that. Don't worry about trying to make yourself. Don't worry about that. The universe is going to take good care of Bart. Bart's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. He'll be sitting on Big Bubba's lap this time next year. He won't be riding the pine, but he'll be riding Big Bubba. That's for sure. One of the other things that's very disturbing is that all these guys will band together in the name of not only foolishness, murder, evil to protect Bart. Bart's a murderer. Well, remember, he hasn't been convicted. I don't give a shit. In my book, he's a murderer. Right? In my book, he's a murderer. Send me you want to cease and desist? Go ahead. Go ahead, because it won't stop me. Because here's why I'm so confident. Because he doesn't have time to deal with what do you call it, defamation lawsuits. He doesn't have time for that. He doesn't even have the money for that. You can be convincing to your buddies. You can be convincing to Ocean Springs down there in Mississippi. You can come on the internet and try to be convincing to us. We don't believe you, never have, but you can come on and you can try. But what you don't understand is you've never really been in the real world, have you, Bart? Because nobody gives a fuck about you like your mother and your father does. We don't care. And as a matter of fact, since you're a murderer, it makes it worse. First of all, Bart's name was never in the conversation. And then Warren kept saying, yeah, my buddy, who he was talking about, Bart. I think he might have said Bart one time. Okay, yeah, whatever. We go, well, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, damn it, Bart, right? When you hear that loud thump, you can actually see, I don't listen to it anymore, but when I first listened to the audio sound, it made me sick at the stomach. It actually was hard to listen to because you heard Nolan Wells gasping for air, coughing, right? You can hear, you kind of, well, I'm not even gonna, you hear it making a little bit more noise, right? And I didn't want to hear, I couldn't, I did it 2 times just to make sure, right? You can't make this shit up, guys. Well, this is not right. It's not, look, man, how many times are you guys going to get on here and say that this is fake and this is fake and that's fake? You haven't even talked to the cops. And I said this time and time again. Mississippi is doing all they can to get you guys off. And you stupid idiots is doing all you can to get caught. But believe it or not, you were going to get caught anyway, because even if you never showed up on the Brandon Tatum show, when the audio came out, it said, where it says, damn it, Bart. I mean, if Bart is all of that, y'all want to sit up and cover for him, this is not high school. They're thinking this is like high school because you can see them smirking and looking at each other when they're doing the interviews and stuff like that. Because you got Brandon Fuckface Tatum on there talking to him, and he's on their side. Now, my thing about Brandon Tatum, right? Really fast, I'll interject this. My thing about Brandon Tatum is, dude, why put yourself in harm's way? Why interject yourself into something that has nothing to do with you? And not only doesn't have anything to do with you, it's bigger than you, and it's actually bigger than a whole lot of other people. This is big. This is huge. This is as big as life. This is as big as you get. This is going to go down in books, right? And you interject yourself into this. Not only can you, or probably may get in trouble legally, you run the risk of getting sued. And now people are finding out who you are, who never knew who you are, who never knew who you were, right? And these people can take pokes at you. You don't know who they are, but they know who you are. They look at you every day on the internet. You can look on the internet and you don't know. You don't know who can't stand you. I laugh and I talk about you and laugh. But some of these other people that's out here, it's not funny to them. It's not funny. And they will try to hurt you. So I don't understand, why are you? Well, I'm trying to get money and I'm trying to sell my beer, my bourbon, because he's putting his bourbon and all these different, like he has them behind him, and then he's got that other attorney that has verdict bourbon in his video in the background. It's not a joke, man. You coming down into Mississippi, Mr. Tatum, to promote your bourbon when a guy's just died. Somebody just died, man. And you down there trying to promote your bourbon. You got to be one sick, nasty son of a bitch. And guess what? The universe is going to tighten you up too. And that's how that works. That's how that works. It's how it works. Just like I told you guys earlier with Carmelo Anthony and Austin, the Austin kid, that I wasn't going to run that. Austin Metcalf, right? Because both of those guys have fucked up passes. Austin Metcalf's got it real fucked up. And so does Metcalf. I mean, Austin Metcalf's got a fucked up pass, right? And some can say he had it coming, right? Carmelo Anthony, the same thing. But here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to pass judgment on somebody that's dead, right? The only thing that I see in that world, I see a lot of things, but one of the most racial things that I see in that Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf story is that Anthony was they had a deal, a gentleman's agreement, where they weren't going to talk about each other's past. If you don't talk about Austin Metcalf's past, if you don't talk about Carmelo Anthony's past, then you have a court case, and it's just a regular court case. It's just a regular court case. And Metcalf will probably win that and get off on self-defense. Because if you listen to the whole story, it's strictly self-defense. That's all it is. It's strictly self-defense. Not because he's black, not because Austin was white. It's straight up self-defense, not looking at the past. But they had a gentleman's agreement where we're not going to bring their past in. Well, the Austin guy brings Carmelo, I guess his team, they bring Carmelo Anthony's record in, which is jacked up, right? But then you got Austin Metcalf's, his story. This dude, Carmelo Anthony got into it or hit a teacher or whatever. Well, so did Austin Metcalf, right? He would curse teachers out all the time, right? Was using the N-word, very racist, right? They both had fucked up backgrounds, right? So at that point, if you don't bring none of their past up, nobody goes to jail. He gets off on self-defense, which it actually was self-defense. Because Carmelo Anthony told the dude, you put your hands on me and you're going to find out. And I guess Austin grabbed him up and collared him, and that was the last guy he collared, right? That was the last guy he collared. Now Carmelo's got to go to jail. Now, if you don't put either one of the stories behind him, he gets off on he doesn't get 35. He didn't get sentenced to 35 years. self-defense because it was self-defense. But now you're bringing both of their past in. So now you're trying to be the judge and the jury for Karmelo. For Austin. Well, Austin was just a bigger jackass. But I'm not gonna get off into that because he didn't passed away. But his past was horrid. Now, had he changed? I don't know. Probably not. Because that's why he got killed, because he went for bad. He grabbed somebody. Because anybody know, you don't put your hands on somebody. You can't defend putting your hands. If he put their hand, so look, let's say the cops were there. The cops watch him put his hands on Metcalf, or the cops watch Austin put his hands on Karmelo. Well, Karmelo can file an assault charge. Now, watch this, guys. I've seen people, and see, here's where the racism comes in. I've seen people touch other people when they don't want to be touched or don't want to be bothered, and they touch them. And then when they got, I guess they were getting wrecked, they were trying to rectify the situation, and that person was like, well, I'll explain why I did it. And I started laughing. I'm like, you can't explain how you were doing it. You don't touch anybody. Well, I guess this person was known for, this person was just known for being a racist, right? And they were just trying to explain why you can't explain anything. There's no explaining. If I don't want you to touch me, you don't touch me. If I don't like you like that, I don't know you. Maybe I do know you, I just don't like you. How about I know you and I don't have either way? I don't feel either way. I'm indifferent. Still, don't put your hands on me, because we aren't in that kind of, you know what I mean? And I've seen people, and I started laughing once, and I was like, oh, you can't defend that. You cannot defend it. Well, I know when you black, you can't, right? God, guys, I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you things that I actually know for a fact. When a certain group of people that think that they have power, they'll try to misuse their power. And then you have the powers to be that will back them and allow them to even talk about it. Because I was laughing. I'm like, why are they allowing this person to talk? You shouldn't even be saying a goddamn word. As a matter of fact, you should be in the street or the unemployment line. But when you got the power, guys, this is exactly how this is. If that person was black, that person you wouldn't even have heard of this person anymore. That person would have been fired, gone, or whatever, right? But when you're dealing with people who are a different persuasion, and that persuasion backs them and allow them to continue to do, because first of all, in order for somebody to put their hands on you, they've done it before. And like I said, guys, Austin has done this before. Austin has a fucked up past. It's bad. But the attorney felt like, well, I know we got a gentleman's attorney, but maybe we can sneak it in because he's black. See, that's where the racism shit comes in. If you listen to it straight up, because I'm gonna give Austin his respect, because he's dead, and you never talk ill upon the dead, right? But you had a gentleman's agreement between two attorneys that you're not going to bring either one of their cases up. I mean, their past. Because if you bring up the past, now you got a chance to get in this dude. Because if you don't bring it up, Karmelo he's off. Self-defense. Simply self-defense. But like I said, guys, when you think you can get used to getting away with shit, because Austin was too young to be racist like that. He's like 15 or some shit like that. He's too young to be racist. Using the N-word and all this other stuff. Explaining why he touched somebody, grabbed him. And I'm like, how can you explain how you put your hands on somebody? You can't explain that. They don't want you to touch them. You don't fucking touch them. A black person would not dare to try to even say, well, except for OJ. Right? OJ was a fucking idiot. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to say anything bad about OJ. He's deceased. I'm big on that, guys. I don't like to speak ill on dead people, but I digress. If you're a social deviant, right? If you are a social deviant, then you should not be allowed to say anything. You've got these boys in Ocean Springs running around, shooting their mouths off, and they're deviants. They're social deviants. But you have the attorney go, well, these are good American boys. Okay, well, we know what that is, right? As soon as you say good American boys, we know what you're working towards. What about Bart? I mean, not Bart, but what about Nolan? Nolan doesn't get that type of protection. Watch it, guys. I'm telling you, this happens everywhere. They had a show that I'm watching and that I'm listening to with Brandon Tatum, and people were debating him, and he goes right away he goes, if anybody has ever been, and it's all black guys in the room, and it's some black women. And Brandon Tatum goes, if there's any black people in this room who has been racism has affected their job or their life, please raise your hand. And everybody looked at him like, who is this nigga? Where y'all dig him up at? And then one younger black man, he goes, he says, here's my question. Why are we even sitting here discussing racism with another black man? He says, I'm out. I'm not doing this. Because it's asinine. Because Brandon Tatum he's asinine. He's the kind of guy you don't get your blood pressure up over. Because pretty much white people, the good white people, even the racist white people, the black people, whoever, everybody knows what he's up to. Right? Everybody knows what he's up to. And eventually what's going to happen with Brandon Tatum, he's going to get called on his bullshit. Can't go around making people look stupid. He's making mockery of white folks, and he's making mockery of black people. And it's so bad. They had this one black guy on there, and I guess he had it where this one racist white guy was trashing Brandon Tatum. He thought it was hilarious. He kept it on there and laughed. I'm like, man, they hate this guy this much? They hate this guy. It's like everybody hates this guy. Brandon Tatum, his wife, I'm sure Brandon Tatum and his wife had a conversation about, you do know you're putting us in an awkward position that we could get hurt, right? You know what happened to your buddy, what's his name? The guy that just got killed, rest his soul in peace. But you can't do that. You have to be a little bit more tactful. But see, he's in it for the money. But I digress. Guys. I go back to you shouldn't be putting your hands on somebody. When Austin put his hands on Karmelo, that was the end of it. It was self-defense, right? Because you shouldn't put your hands on anybody. But now he felt that somehow or another he felt that he could do it and he can get away with it, right? And you just don't wake up like that. You've done this before, like I said. Batteries are cheap. Fix your smoke alarm. You can hear it, huh? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it is a cheap battery. Equal force hands. Equal for to knives. This is equal force hands. Front equal to knives. I don't understand. What do you mean? Talk to me. Equal force hands. Equal. Yeah, to knives. Okay, I get you. I get you. Yeah. See, that's my thing. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Austin background was fucked up and the other guy, his life was he was an honor student. Someone touches you doesn't mean stab someone. Well, that's true, right? But we don't know what was said in that conversation, right? And with this guy, he probably might have tried to do some great bodily harm. I don't know, right? I don't know. I mean, you kind of got a point, right? You don't just stab somebody because they put their hands on you. But guess what? Sometimes that happens, and you, if you want to, you can claim self defense, right? Me personally, my personal opinion, I just think that both of those attorneys should have left the past out of it. Let that shit just go down in the courts and let it go down. But when you start bringing in, I keep getting these guys' names mixed up. But if you once you start bringing in that both of theirs passed, they both have fucked up passes. So now you're trying to sway it one way. You're trying to get that victory, right? You're trying to get that victory. You're trying to get that dub. Just let it go down the way it's supposed to if you guys got that gentleman agreement. Now, if it goes down the way, it just goes either way, right? Either way it goes down. Honestly, because like I said earlier, I had this video about a lot of the shit that both of them had did. And then I was like, I'm not playing this because number one, Austin is dead, right? Austin is dead. And both of them had fucked up passes, right? It looks like he was gonna stab somebody one way or the other, right? Right? Because he did have a lot of threatening emails or text messages out there, Mr. Carmelo did. He did. He had a lot of threats. He threatened his girlfriend and all that. But see, they both were fucked up. They both were fucked up. I mean, it's actually an unfortunate position. But what I don't like and where I think it gets racist is when you start going back on what you eventually said you were going to do and you don't do it, right? We're all fucked up, right? Nobody's better than the next person. But when you're trying to sneak something in and you're trying to sneak a victory in, how about all these other blacks that lost their lives over shit like that? I've seen guys lose jobs, right? And they come in and I go, man, that's some bullshit, right? But now I've also seen guys where self defense claim must require you to have the option to retreat, take Rittenhouse. Yeah, Rittenhouse. Yeah. He ran away, got hit, knocked his arm out off to almost really too. Crown shot. He couldn't run or retreat. And you know what? Okay, and he wanted to kill. Well, man, I mean, like I said earlier, they both were fucked up, right? They both were fucked up. What I hate about cases like this, what I really hate about cases like this, is that when you people never want to just let the courts work this shit out. Somebody always want to get the ups. Something like this should go to court, and when it goes to court, leave the past out of it for both of them. And you know what? What you're saying, if that happens and they want to toss him away, yeah, toss him away. I'm not gonna really argue on the self-defense and stuff like that because you might be a little bit more knowledgeable than I am on it. But I can tell you this much: in the real world, if somebody tells you don't put your hands on them, you don't do it. You just don't because you never know what'll happen, right? So my thing is about life, right? I don't want to see anybody die or get killed. And that's exactly why I'm not going to play this thing about Austin. Because I had it all set up and I'm like, man, I'm going to play this. Because I'm like, damn, this dude, Austin Metcalf, is fucked up. But then I played this, I went and I looked up Karmelo and I'm like, man, this dude fucked up too. And I'm like, this is like two runaway freight trains that unfortunately something like this was bound to happen to either one of them, and that's unfortunate. I mean that's really unfortunate. I remember the Rittenhouse deal, self defense. That was up in Milwaukee. Rittenhouse was running away. He got hit into the ground and then shot. He couldn't even run or retreat. No, he couldn't. But you know what? I hate all of that, man. That's not life, man. That's not positivity. That's negativity. And I figured that he wasn't going because something like that, think about it. You can't reopen it. You can't reopen that case. You can't get it because what happens now, everybody knows what happens. So everybody knows that both of them are fucked up, right? So now they're gonna say, well, he's dead, then this guy probably just gonna have to go to jail. And hey, I mean, that's just the way that goes. But on the other side, what do you think about the Nolan Wells deal? Yeah, you're right about that. Somebody touches you don't mean you stab them. Me and you know that, but there are people out here in this world that's not wrapped too tight. I just think that Austin deal, Carmel, and they said his family didn't even show up. They said his family didn't even show up to the court case. And I guess they said that they raised a lot of money and they're getting a new house or something like that. And then one of the guys were like, well, I'm going to fix that. I am going to fix it. But I guess one of the guys that I was listening to, he goes, well, if it was my son, I would have been there, but my son wouldn't be involved in anything like that. And my thing to him was, dude, you can't say that. You can be the biggest Christian. You can be the perfect guy, but you cannot say how your kids are going to turn out or what they're going to do or what's going to happen. You can't say that. You just can't. I remember I was young. I used to say all kind of stuff. And I got really pissed at my pops once. And I go, I'll never ask you for anything and I'll never need you. And he looked at me and he collared me. He said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. And I got yelled at and straightened out. And then I want to say about let's see, no, maybe 10 years after that, right? Because I was in middle school. But 10 years after that, after graduated, maybe 2 years out of high school or whatnot, I needed Pops because Pops was good on working on cars. And I had to replace my catalytic converter and my muffler pipe and my muffler. And he was the only one that could help me do it because I couldn't do it by myself. And I called him. He came over and we worked on it. And the whole time I'm like, I'm looking stupid because I want to tell him because I already know that he's gonna bring it up because I had said that once before, and I'm kind of like, I go, yeah, okay, go ahead and say it. He says, I'm not saying one word. He says the lesson behind that is never say what what you will never do, right? So yeah, yeah. When I heard that guy say, I'm like, okay, dude, you just opened it up that it will happen. But nevertheless, guys, I'm gonna tell you what this thing with Nolan Wells and with Nolan Wells is start at this point in juncture it started to become sickening. At first it was comical, but now it's becoming to be is now it's sickening, right? Hold on 1 minute, guys. What is this? What is this? Um, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I guess they having dinner, they want to know what I want. So just get me something with the what's that, the pork, and you know what I usually get. But bowl. Yeah. And vegetables. Yeah. So pretty much, guys, I mean, this whole thing with Nolan Wells is just is simple cut and dry, right? The Camilo Anthony and Austin McCat was that Metcalf? That's something that happened a while ago because I didn't really know too much about it, right? So I'm gonna look at it. And then I start seeing all this different stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of different. This is different. It's not as simple and cut and dry as this Nolan Wells, right? So you got something with, these guys, they fucked up history, and then they had this deal, this gentleman's agreement. Hey, so Citizen, Lauren Land, Citizen, what do you think about that gentleman's agreement that they had? Before I get off of this, I just want to hear what you think about that because they did have a gentleman's agreement. Yeah, Rittenhouse. I remember that, man. He didn't have a chance. He ran up on him. See, that's why you don't. See, that's the real world. Those are like real world situations. I'm from Detroit, right? So I'm kind of used to situations like that happening. So I don't. If somebody say, look, I'm done playing, then you back off, right? But because they're having a bad day, don't mean that they can just go off and kill me or something. But that happens, right? Um, yeah, you got a point on that with that self defense stuff. Yeah, you do have an excellent point. But I'm gonna go with he shouldn't have put his hands and grabbed him and collared him up,. But I'm not going to like debate that one because I just think nobody wins in that one. And yeah, I want to see everything be perfect, but it's not, right? But I just see two guys that were runaway freight trains that they both had a collision. And this is something that I don't want to say they put themselves into because I'm no judge, man. But it just seems like that this was a situation that they were both bound to collide. He could have collided with someone else, right? But that's how the universe works, man. So I always try to be super positive and not negative because that this whole thing is shitty. But this Nolan Wells, and I said from the beginning that Bart was guilty. And now Warren, and I said from the beginning about Warren, I said Warren is just doing what he's told to do. And it's bullshit because his mother, the judge, is pulling the strings and pulling his strings. You can tell he's a kid and he don't really know, right? You know who else is fucked up? TMZ when they ran off and got that one kid to talk. What, Javon? And when that first happened, I'm like, wait a minute. Why is Javon? Well, I didn't know his name at that point, but I'm like, why is this kid talking to the media? And you could tell it wasn't right because you see no grown folk, no parent around. And then when his parent was around, she was elbowing him under not under the table, but when she was standing side by side with him, right? And eventually, I guess they say now that's taken down by TMZ with Javon. Because yeah, that should have never been up. You can't talk to anybody under the age of 17 without parental, you know, without parental guide, not parental guidance, but without their permission. You gotta have the parents' permission before you can talk to somebody that young. You can't do it. So, but I tell you what, one thing that I do know is when he first made that first interview, I'm like, this dude's gonna be in the middle of this shit. Even if he's not, he's gonna be in the middle of it. All because he threw himself in front of the microphone. And unfortunately, when shit goes down like this, when it's a racial case, and the feds, because the feds are gonna end up taking this over. And when the feds take this over, you think they want to have their hands on something dirty like this? With it being a racial case? They're probably gonna want to try to bring his ass in there too. So I don't know how they're gonna work that out with him being young like that and wasn't supposed to talk. But they're gonna want to try to bring somebody black in there too. Because they want to try to solve, they want to try to smooth this shit out. But guess what? You can't. You cannot smooth anything out like this because Mississippi just keeps stoking the fire. Mississippi thinks that people are stupid. Just tell the truth. What? How about this? Don't tell the truth because that wouldn't be wise. You're gonna go straight to jail. How about you just don't say anything? Right? How about you don't say anything? Because if it's me and I know what I did, right? I'm not gonna go and say, well, kind of like OJ did, when it says, "Oh, if I would have killed her, I would have done this." What are you doing? Are you mocking me? So now that's actually pissing me off because you're coming. Well, if we would have, why would we go to the Mississippi Sound and do this? And I'm like, okay, see, these guys are starting to get disrespectful now. Somebody just passed away. And there's a level of respect. I don't care how bad that person is, Charlie Kirk or whoever. I'm not saying he's bad. I didn't know the guy, right? But if he appears to be bad, you'll never get me to talk bad about the dead, right? You'll never get me to talk bad about the dead, never, because that's not what you do. You always show respect to the dead. But somebody's not teaching these kids down there how to be respectful. Right? And then nobody knows who Bart is. No one knows. But then all of a sudden, who's Bart? Where's Bart? And you go, because remember when I first heard him call Bart's name, I'm like, who's that? What the hell? But then as it kept, and I started searching too. I'm like, oh my God, it's a girl involved. Now, starting off, I don't know, right? But this was all about a chick, right? I don't even know her. Bullshit, dude. You do know who she is. That's going to come out too. So now everything that Bart has said is a lie, right? Bart to me comes off as a liar. Everything you can't believe him. Let me see. And dude, don't. And they're like, well, he's playing football, and he just wants to. They want to get him. Don't worry about football. He's going to be okay. He's not going to have a career playing football, right? Now, this is what I want to bring up right here. And I do this not to make mockery, but just for Bart. This is just something for Bart to just look. Is this guy? No, that's not him. Half of his teammates, half of his teammates are black. They're going to look at him totally different now. The other half is going to hate him and resent him, right? Because, see, here's what happens now, right? Football season is here. College football season is here, right? But now you're going to have a disruption in the locker room that you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have this disruption in the locker room. But you're going to have it now because of Bart. When you play football and you're in that locker room, everything needs to be team oriented. Nothing is bigger than the team. Am I right? Nothing is bigger than the team. But when you come off like you didn't do anything, you got the coach on your side. The coach lies and tells people, well, we haven't heard anything about a murder case. Dude, you're a goddamn lie. Now, you putting Bart in front of the football team. Let's see. Yeah, so now you're putting Bart in front of the football team. Me, I would really resent that. Let's see. Let me put this here. All right. So here is some of Jesus. I'm still learning how to do this, guys. I'm still learning. Let's see. Remove. Nope. Add to stage. So I need to get rid of this. Now you see these guys? These are the guys that he's going to be playing with, right? These are the guys that's on his team. They look like they're Nolan Wells, right? They look exactly like Nolan Wells. Well, not exactly like, but you get what I'm saying. These guys are the guys that you're going to have to be playing with. But somehow or another, you feel like you can lie like you did something in high school and you get yourself out of it. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works, right? This is a murder charge. You murder someone, you have to deal with the cops, right? These are the guys he's going to be playing with. This is his locker room, right? Right? You owe it. Bart owes it to this whole team to remove himself from the locker room. Get the unnecessary distraction out of there. Because what's going to happen? Here's what's not fair to the team. Once all of this stuff really starts to settle down, you'll have people hanging around in the locker room with a microphone asking questions about Bart. That's a distraction. You can't come into practice. Somebody's there hanging around with a microphone asking about Bart. Now, these guys worked hard this whole damn summer, right? But now you got to deal with a disruption, right? You shouldn't have to. I am shocked. I am surprised that the coach at Wyoming is allowing this circus to get ready to start up. Well, we haven't heard anything of a murder charge. Dude, you're lying. You're lying. Why are you putting him in front of the team? And somebody say, "Oh, Ron, you just want him out of here." You goddamn right I do. If he was black, I would say the same damn thing. One person, you cannot put one person in front of the team. Once you do that, one player is gonna figure it out first, and then it's gonna be like a cancer. They're gonna be like, man, this is bullshit. Why coach got all this going on? Why coach didn't make him sit? Right? Because they're gonna be showing up, and you know how the media is, they fucking relentless. They're gonna wait until Wyoming start losing. That's what's gonna happen. That first game when they play, and by the way, I will be betting the spread. The spread is Colorado Springs 3. The last I checked, it was 3. You could take Colorado plus the point. I mean Colorado by 3. You can take Colorado Springs by money line. I don't care. Wyoming, they'll be hard pressed to win that game. It's in Colorado Springs. It's gonna be it's a lot of shit going on that we don't know and don't hear about now. But trust me, it's starting to become a circus in that locker room. And the way it sounds today, after everybody has found out that Bart was on a pitcher on the boat with Nolan Wells, right? It's gonna get funky real quick. And that picture will probably be out tomorrow. I'll probably hang around in that computer all night trying to find it because I don't have a life. So I'll be trying to find it. But yeah, I'm taking Colorado Springs. If you take the under, that's okay too. But and it's sad because Wyoming has got they had a pretty decent team last year, right? Wyoming usually gets like a lot of rejects from Colorado and a lot of the Big Ten, right? They get a lot of rejects from LA. So like if a guy who really wants to go to USC or UCLA, a lot of those guys will just go to Wyoming sometimes. Wyoming gets some good guys. Wyoming is not trash, but their coach is gonna make them trash. If you take Wyoming plus the points, that's a good bet. If you win, you're gonna get some good money. And first, I want to see how much Vegas is gonna give you for it. But Vegas knows something because Vegas came out early. Because I'm like, Colorado Springs. Don't get me wrong, Colorado Springs ain't trash either. But I just didn't think that they were on the level of a Wyoming because Wyoming's defense is pretty decent. But you're gonna have a lot of resentment going on in that locker room. Coach fucked up. Coach was supposed to make him sit. Coach, you're supposed to make Bart sit. Now all these guys that's playing football, you pretty much told them that Bart matters more than the team. And a lot of people are gonna say, you know what, man, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't even have entered the portal and came here. Because now you're just saying that Bart means more to the team than we do. That's bullshit. That's definitely bullshit. Hey guys, I am out of here. I've been on here for a minute. Oh, I want to go over some sports, some football stuff. Um, yeah. Where am I at? Yeah, I just want to go over some football stuff really quickly before I get out of here, and I'll be back tomorrow. Like and subscribe, please. Loreland Citizen, I hope you like and subscribe, please. Do me a favor, right? Even if you think I suck, still just like me anyway, right? Just feel sorry for me and help me. But let's go ahead because I do football, I do gambling, I do sports books and stuff like that. Do I hit? Absolutely. Yes, I do. And normally during the football season, I get really hot and I can average somewhere around $1,400 to $1,300 a week. Right? Um, let's see, what am I looking at today? I just want to go here and look to see what happened today. I did advise one of my buddies to take the Lions I just said just take it, right? But now I'm gonna advise guys, this is the last week coming. Do not bet and play around with NFL preseason games. This is the end of the season. I mean, this is the last playoff game. Um, a lot of people won't start. Pretty much everything is set into place. Like these last couple of weeks, I gave it to you because I knew that Arizona has absolutely nothing. They got a new quarterback, they got a new running back, they got a new coach. So they're gonna be trying to score and trying to do everything, right? So, but now, especially coming up next week, don't even mess with it. Don't don't even try to go under and over. A lot of stuff may go under, some might go over. Vegas is going to be playing games with you guys and take your money. So don't mess with Vegas now because Vegas is really going to have control on next week. It's going to be like a game to them. So they'll be saying, okay, drop this pass, catch that pass. Yeah, don't mess with it. All right, so let's get in here and we'll see what did I do today. I took Los Angeles in baseball, and I took Turk Scrubble to throw at least 7+ strikeouts. The last I checked, he had 7, so I made it. And I'm sure he went over the 7 strikeouts. Let's see. I'm sure he did. I wonder if he got 8, because the over under for strikeouts for Turk Scrubble was 8. Yep, Dodgers won. Hell yes. How many? Well, I made a 9, but let's look and see what he got. Turk Scrubble. And I feel sorry for the Pirates. I feel sorry for the Pirates, and I feel sorry for the San Diego Padres. Why? Because the Padres will never make it as long as they're in a division with the Angels. I mean, with the Yankees. I mean, with the Dodgers. And I don't know, man. I don't even think they can beat Milwaukee, to be honest with you. And people will say, hey, Milwaukee's going to beat the Dodgers. No, no. Because if you watch now, Mizorowski, he's not throwing 10 and 12 strikeouts anymore. Try like 6 and 7. Because his arm is getting tired, guys. But that's management. Management should make sure that this guy, yeah, you can throw 10 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts, but, try to get this guy to kind of, keep it down. But he is a strong, tall boy. But Milwaukee and LA, I'm taking Milwaukee. I mean, I'm taking LA every day. All right, so let's go and see what happened. Scrubble threw 11 strikeouts. Holy fuck. Yeah, so, okay, so he's in playoff mode now. Turf Scrubble is in playoff mode. He threw 11 strikeouts. The over-under was 8.5. I kind of knew that I could probably get that, but after Mizorowski screwed me yesterday with 6 strikeouts, I didn't want to put myself in that same hole again. Yeah, Turk Scrubble's just, and he was looking good too. Oh my God, he's looking good. He's in playoff form. Yeah. Oh yeah, he looks good. Uh, so let's see. I did good on that. The rest, guys, I took college football. Here's what I want to do. I want to take a picture of and just hang out with me for a couple of minutes. I just want to show you guys this. I want to show it to you because I want you to say, Ron, you're a genius, or Ron, you're an idiot. But I think you'll say, Ron, you're a genius. Let me see. This is for today, right? Let's see. One, right? So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for the first week in football. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, wait, I can use this. Is this right? Is this 20? Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's go this way. Hold on. Yep. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take North Carolina. I'm in that first game against Texas Christian. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. And the reason why is because at the end of last year, North Carolina has started to put it together, right? And we're talking about What's the coach name? Yeah, if you honestly thinks he's gonna keep losing like that, he's not. He's not gonna keep losing like that. So that's why I say I'm gonna take him. I took him plus the 8 points. Let me get this thing right, make sure I got everything correct, and then I'll show you. I'm taking the Memphis Tigers plus the point, not Memphis. Well, Memphis Tigers, I'm going to take them on the over. With the points, I don't want to mess with that game only because they're playing Vegas in Vegas. Vegas screwed me and a lot of people last year like that. So I don't know if you know it or not, but Vegas, they go Mizorowski. Yeah, they tagged him a couple of times. But uh, if you guys can remember last year, UNLV played at home against Idaho State. Not Idaho, the Vandals, but Idaho State. And I think they were favored by like 30 points. And they only won by like what, maybe 10? So and then I got pissed, right? And then my buddy goes, well, they are in Vegas. They are UNLV at home in Vegas. I'm like, yeah. He says, so Rocco and Vito was probably coaching the game. And I just got pissed even more. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm going to go ahead and send this. I'm going to put this on the screen because I want you guys to see, the first week of college. The first week of college is very important. Vegas will get you guys all work. It never fails. Vegas will get you guys all worked up and have you guys they'll have you guys to bet like all of the spreads. They'll have them at 30 and 50 and 60. And then everybody, yeah, they'll make it like Ohio State. Now, here's the thing with Ohio State. Ohio State will pretty much blow a lot of people out. But Ohio State is one of those programs that's classy, and they're not gonna really run the score up on most people. They won't. They just won't do it. All right, come on. Let me send this one. Run. Let's move. Drag to the order. I don't want to. See. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Here's the first one. Well, I'm gonna start at the bottom because I put some baseball on it, and I just want you to see what it looks like as far as with the baseball on it for today. And basically, what I do is I'm just taking what Vegas gives me because they normally won't give you a whole bunch of games together, right? So if they put something up early and I think that I could take advantage of it, that I know that they could win those games, then I'll jump all over it. But please do not buy into the hype with a lot of those high spreads. That's Vegas setting a trap. That's Vegas setting a trap, and they know that a lot of people are going to jump on it because Ohio State is favored to be. They're favored over Ball State by 50. Will that happen? I don't know. Can they do it? Absolutely. They can score 200 on Ball State, but but you guys know what I'm talking about. Ball State will. This is what Ball State. This is what Ohio State will do. Ohio State might let them get 3 points at first, and then Ohio State will score like maybe 40 or 30, and then at halftime it'll be Ohio State 31, Ball State 10, something like that. And then Ohio State might score maybe 47, and it'll be 47 to 10. Now they're not going to let them score. They won't let Ball State go over 10, guaranteed. But it's whether or not they'll let Ball State go over 10 or 13. And I don't think that they will because Ball State actually was pretty bad last year. Hold on, let me get this up. But they'll get you all hyped and you think that they're gonna score and they won't. Come on, man. All right. Can we see that first game up there? Do we see it? That first ticket? It should be up there. Let's see. Pissing me off. Here we go. All right. So we see that. So like right here, you see I got the Fighting Illini. Right now, you see I get all excited about this. Now, Lauren Land Citizen, I'll fucking argue with you on this shit, right? All right, so let's go. The Fighting Illini, Alabama, or the University of Alabama, Birmingham. I took the money line on this game, but I think it's on the next ticket you'll see where I took the over. Now, on another ticket, on another parlay, I'll take the Fighting Illini and just gamble and take the over 28. But here's why I'm not so fast to take the Fighting Illini to cover the 28. First of all, you're going to be playing the University of Alabama Birmingham, who's in the American Football Conference, right? Those guys score a lot of points in that conference. Memphis, even Charlotte, even the Owls, what was that? Rice Owls, even those guys score high. Is SMU still in that division? I think so. SMU, all of those guys score high over there, right? So what let me look and see. I'm gonna just make sure. Tulane, even Tulsa is coming on. Now that's another game. Tulsa, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is favored by, let's go find that. And remember, Tulsa came on last year, guys. Please remember, don't forget. Hold on, let's see. American Football Conference. All right, where are we? Here we go. College, NCA. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not quick. Watch this. North Texas versus Indiana. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Indiana's gonna let North Texas score. North Texas is from the American Conference, but Indiana and that coach, he's got that team to be set up to be good for the next 4 to 5 years. I don't know if they'll let Florida or North Texas score many points, but pretty much North Texas can score and will score. They were averaging about 30 last year. Let's look and see that conference. We'll name up the teams. There's only a couple of teams that I tell you don't mess with. So let's look at it. Birmingham, Alabama, Birmingham, UAB, right? Then we have East Carolina. Last year they tried to do something, right? They're okay. Florida Atlantic, they just start trying to score. Memphis, yes, of course. But Memphis got a new coach. I don't see them falling off too much, right? I don't think you'll see a coach come in and take that program and go from a high scoring program to hardly not scoring at all. So yeah, Memphis is high scoring. Even Charlotte, the University of Charlotte scores. North Texas, high scoring. Rice University, high scoring. University of South Florida, high scoring. Temple, they finally back. They score high. University of Texas, San Antonio, oh my God. Them guys will score high too. Tulane scores high. Sometimes they can, but Tulane generally scores high. Tulsa, watch it, guys. Tulsa came on. They came on last year. I think they won some games and they kind of scored high too. What was the school that I asked about? But I don't think that they're right, not Rice, but SMU. SMU is not in this division. I thought they were. But all these guys score high. So just remember when you're messing around with that division, yeah, they score high. The Utah Utes, will they cover the 33? Yeah, the Idaho Vandals suck. Surprisingly, Idaho State is better than the Idaho Vandals. Weird. Here's that game right here. Oklahoma Sooners against you. Oh, but maybe that's the next. No, that was Oklahoma State I'm talking about. Okay, so Oklahoma Sooners versus Utah. And remember, I say big teams usually have class. Well, Oklahoma Sooners don't give a shit. They're gonna run the score up on you. Ohio State won't. Michigan didn't when they had Jim Harbaugh, but now since he's gone, I don't know what Michigan will do. USC, yeah, that's gonna be a shootout. I'm taking USC with the points. The Crimson Tide, that's the first game. They play East Carolina. They're gonna beat the brakes off of them. I said they even beat them by probably like 40. And then you see at the bottom where I squoze in Turk Screwball, I squoze in Dodgers. Yes, I am a slick son of a bitch. And what I say is when you can squeeze in games like this, because baseball is hard enough as it is. Baseball is hard enough as it is, especially with Vegas playing games with these guys. Just take it. Just if you think that because Turk Screwball right now, ride him out. He's in his playoff mode. He's gonna be unfucking stoppable from here until the World Series. Take him. The Dodgers, yeah, but definitely takes Turk Screwball 7+ strikeouts from here on out. Also, which I didn't do today, I fucked up. Take for hitting in baseball, take Jong Hoo Lee. What did Jong Hoo Lee do today? Let me deviate. Let me go over here and see what Jong Hoo Lee did today. Jung Hoo Lee is almost like a guaranteed hit. If you follow baseball, you kind of know that. Jung Hoo Lee, Jung Hoo Lee, Jung Hoo. Where the fuck? I wish that this world, maybe they can get involved in sports gaming, man. Maybe, no, because if you lose, it'll probably be worse. You'll be having people tearing shit up in the streets. All right, so what did Jung Hoo Lee do today? Jung Hoo Lee, where are you? Motherfucker, where did he go? The Giants. There we go. Right here. Giants. They played the Red Sox. Uh-huh. They're on right now. Oh, nope, it's over with. Okay, so give me the hits. Jong Hoo Lee. They moved Jong Hoo Lee up now they moved him back down. Did he get a hit? Yes, he got one hit. He went 1 for 4. You see what I mean? But they moved Jong Hoo Lee back down in the order. They at one point Jong Hoo Lee was like the leadoff. He was a leadoff hitter. Maybe he didn't like it or they didn't like it. But give me a fucking break. The Giants is 52-77. A lot of these guys probably won't be there. Why are you moving the? Why are you playing around with the roster? I was hyped because they had Jong Hoo Lee listed at leadoff because a couple of times because normally guys are gonna go. You're gonna get 4 at bats. Well, Jong Hoo Lee was getting like 5 at bats. So I was loving that, but they moved him back down. Okay, assholes. So, but yeah, he got a hit today. Take Jong Hoo Lee to get a hit. These just sneak it in. Sneak it in. Whatever Vegas gives you, take it. For example, for like tomorrow, we've got a game. We look and see who's pitching, but we're not going to just automatically assume because we've got good guys on the mound that the team will win. No, we're going to take the strikeouts for them. So let's see. The Dodgers. Guys, I'm taking a Stanford Cardinal plus the points against Miami. Ron, are you smoking crack? Maybe. But here's the deal with that. Stanford is just like, in my opinion, Northwestern. They're the Northwestern of the ACC. I don't know why they went to the ACC, but But Stanford is one of those teams, as soon as you count them out, or as soon as you think that they're going to lose or get blew out, they win. They just like Northwestern. So you can sleep on them and say, hey, Miami is. Guys, Miami's one of those teams that they can be out-coached, right? You do know that, right? So that's a lot of points. Stanford sucks, but they don't suck that bad that I think that you can give up 24. They're going to give up 24 at home. So I'm going to take now with another parlay. I'll probably take the Miami Hurricanes. I'll probably take them on the money line, right? But I don't think you'll see me taking them on the spread. Don't worry about Stanford. Stanford, they're going to hold their own. Trust me. Kansas City Jayhawks, negative 38.5. They play the Long Island Sharks. It just depends what Kansas is going to do. Are they going to do what they're supposed to do? Or are they going to fuck around with Vegas and listen to Vito and Rocco and have us all twisting and turning at night in the bed? I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to take Kansas Jayhawks to cover that 38. Guys, trust me when I tell you this. Do not get hyped with all of these high spreads. Most of these teams are not going to cover them. Michigan State, and this is interesting. Now, and I checked off into this, and I'm still not understanding why it's only at 10. Maybe Vegas knows something. But Michigan State is only favored by 10 in this game. The Toledo Rockets is pretty tough. They haven't played a Big Ten team in a while. The last time they played, I forgot who it was, and they kept it close, but they ended up losing it. But they kept it close and made it a good game. I think it was in Illinois. I think it was. So I'm going to take the Michigan State Spartans on the money line in that game. And then maybe in another parlay, I'll take them plus the points. I'll take them spread. All right, so let's do this next one. Remove from studio. I'm just learning this new profile thing I got. And, it makes me feel like I'm hot shit, like I'm ESPN. The ESPN thing too. Ryan, what's his name? Ryan. My whole thing with that is that when you start mixing football players with guys who don't play the game, you always will run yourself into a lot of trouble that way, because you do know that at some point somebody's going to say, you haven't played, I played. That's going to happen. I don't even know why that, whatever. Okay, here we go. Here's some serious shit right here, right? Yeah, just a bunch of guys sitting down saying who's got the biggest cock and whatever, right? So at some point, if a guy is sitting on that panel and he's never played football before, just know it's coming. Just know it's coming. You're going to say something. You're going to, not to say that guy played football will be right, because a lot of times he won't be, right? But just know it's going to come. Okay, so here it is. North Carolina Tar Heels. Plus the points. Plus 8 points. Now, what's the guy's name? Fuckface. What's his name? The head coach for Carolina. Towards the end, he came on very strong. He did. North Carolina started winning games, right? The first game of the year, They scored some, but they weren't like they were towards the end. Belichick, that's his name. Belichick is not going to be anybody's bitch for long, right? We know that about Belichick. This is like a home and home series. Because last year they played in North Carolina, right? This year they're going to play in TCU. Um, for a minute there, North Carolina was trying to play with with TCU last year. I'm going to look for North Carolina. I think they may win this game, but what I'll do, I'm not really sure, but I do know it's going to be more competitive than what it was last year. It's Bill Belichick. That's all you got to know, right? Um, and it's the University of North Carolina, so they're going to get a lot of kids that's going to come through the portal. So I'm going to take my chances, and let's take North Carolina Tar Heel plus the points. Now, if you wanted another parlay, then you can just take the Tar Heels on the money line, right? Froghorn spread. I don't know. I really don't. Florida State spread. They're going to beat the crap out of the Aggies. Memphis Tigers. I kind of struggle with that. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it on this one because I've got other ones. But if you look up and over to the right, I got the game going over 57. I've got Memphis plus the points. Memphis got a new coach. They've got a lot of good players. They say came out of the portal. I don't like the Rebels, right? Ever since they fucked me over last year, I know that when my buddy told me, dude, they are in Vegas. So I don't like messing with them because after that they were blowing other teams out. I'm like, right? So I don't deal with them. Delaware Blue Hens, Merrimack. So Delaware has not too long been in the became a D1. They were excellent last year. They scored a lot of points, but consistency is the name of the program. The first parlay, I definitely will take them on the money line. Merrimack was like 4-8 or something like that, but you just never know, right? So I just kind of played it safe, and I took Delaware on the money line. Maybe like on the other parlay, I'll take Delaware on the spread because Delaware was good last year. Mississippi Tigers playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're gonna win by 60, so that's not even a question. All right, we already talked about the Trojans. We talked about the over with Memphis. Rutgers, you have UMass at Rutgers. Rutgers should beat these guys by 30, but in this first one, I'm gonna take Rutgers on the money line. Then we've got UCF Knights versus Bethune-Cookman. They will cover that. So basically, when it comes down to the HBCUs, when you see Bethune-Cookman, when you see Florida A&M, when you see I said Florida A&M, didn't I? Yeah. It's some other Mississippi State Valley or Mississippi Valley State, wherever Jerry Rice went. They're terrible. Teams like that from the HBCU, you just automatically know that they're gonna run the score up on them. Teams from the HBCU to be careful of: Delaware State, North Carolina A&T, and Howard. Right, so you want to be careful with them. I've got one more. One that's connected, I think. Yep. Let me see. Let me see. I think. How many did I think I did them all. Yeah. I think I did them all. 20. Let's see. Hold on. Did we do the Spartans? We did the Jayhawks? I think so. Yeah. We did the Utes. We did 20. Yeah, we did them all, I think. But that's okay. We'll do more. We'll do more tomorrow. Um, we'll do more tomorrow, and we want to get these things down packed. I want to say already right now, ready to go. I have 12 parlays, and they all start off with. I've got one more to show you. Where is it at? Hold on. Just see. Where's that other one at? Got one more. Where's it at? What are you doing? Okay, here it is right here. Ah, I think I'm gonna. It's one I can just roll. I can just put on here and just let it roll. Turn into it like a video or something. So let's go that way, and you'll like this one. This is the last one, and then we're out of here, guys. Because here's my thing. I'll talk about the current events, but first and foremost, I'm on here because I want to win, and I want to help you guys get. I want to help you guys win. Have I ever won big? Hell yeah. How does it feel? It feels great. You feel cocky, right? You want to try and keep it away from your wife or whatnot. So you want to try to be quiet as much as possible because they got you just don't want to let them know. So you want to switch up a little different shit you do. I had one lady sent me. She commented. She got my email or something, and then she told me, well, her son is not going. Her husband is not going to be. He's not going to be playing, so don't look forward to conversating with him. And he's in the church now. And I told her, I pissed her off even more. I said, well, this is the church right here. Everything he needs, he'll get here. All right, here we go. This is what I want to send you guys. I want you guys to see this so you can kind of get an understanding of what I'm trying to do. And if you guys are hardcore gamblers, you probably already know. But here is a perfect one. Where's this at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I took one, guys, where it's like a whole bunch of under overs. Let's see, hold on. All right, here we go. This is the one. I'm gonna shoot it and record it and then let you guys just look at it. So let's go here. So you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let's see. Yep. Yep. But this one I kind of went nuts on, but I'm okay because I took Akron plus the points, right? But it's 23. And sometimes Wake Forest will get you like that. So don't be afraid to make the big gamble, right? Don't be afraid to do it. Let me see here, here. Let me go ahead and because some of these things that I picked out, guys, they're big hits, right? Don't worry about if you hit for a big amount. Uncle Sam will take its part out. But one thing, guys, just make sure when it's tax time or anything happens, you get any extra money, just make sure you got your stories right. Just make sure you got your story right. And just take the old lady somewhere. Just take her, on a cruise or something. But if you don't take her to the cruise, man, take her on a cruise and then she gets to snooping around and find something, you're gonna be fucked. Don't call me up. I got my own problems. All right, so where do we go? All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna let you guys see this. I'm gonna open this up here. Come on, bitch. Here we go. They keep showing this Dodgers game over and over on ESPN.com. Yes, we already know that the Dodgers have a good team. We know that already. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we go to downloads. Yep, remove, and we're gonna go to downloads. Add to stage. Nope, we don't want to do that. We just want to remove it. Now we want to add to stage. We'll do files. We'll do downloads, and we will do. Where's the video? I don't want to send you that. That's a porn picture. Let me see. Hold on. Um, where maybe will it let me send it? It should. It's a movie clip. Let me see. Hold on. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Well, I'll try it this way. Let's go to the desktop, right? And we'll go here. Because it's not gonna take long. I just want you guys to see this one here. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I just want you to see it. Hold on. Okay, desktop. All right, it won't let me do it that way, so I've got to break it up. Hold on. It still won't be long. It was just quick. It'll be fast. So take it out this way. We'll go. See, move. See here. All right, so we'll just do it this way. This won't take long. All right, so we'll move that up and move it up here, and that's it. And then I'm about to show you right now. It doesn't take long. More. Okay. And now here we go here. So I'm going to add this here to file, right? And this will be the first one, I think. So we'll upload it. Let's see, what does it say? What does it say? What does it say? All right. Do you guys see it? Yeah, you should see it. Let me pull it up. I'll just go over it with you. I hate when I just move things too all over the place and miss it. All right. Okay, so you see what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So if we look at it, if you see the first game, you got Memphis. Right now, this is on FanDuel. The other one was the other one was Fanatics. But like I said, I take what FanDuel or Vegas gives me. So got the Memphis and the over, right? But there was games on August 2nd that I liked. I was even able to grab, and I'll show you that tomorrow. I just want to show you this one. This is a 16 game leg. After this, there's a shitload of college games, but I was able to sneak in Atlanta winning, the White Sox winning, who's probably going to win that division. Miami's pretty good. Cincinnati, the Yankees. I think, let me see, one more. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Is that it? Yeah. All right, I got it right. So as you can see, and it's more below. I got the Yankees, and then as we go on, I got TCU money line, USC spread, Florida State money line, and then you may say, Ron, if you take Florida State, if you take Florida State um, money line, you know they're gonna blow North Mexico State out. Here's what I don't like to do. Yes, 9 times out of 10, Florida State is going to beat the living crap out of out of New Mexico State. But I don't want to look up with 12 parlays or even 4 parlays, and I've got Florida State winning by 37 on both of them, and then just so happen they lose by 1 point. That you don't want to do, and that could easily happen. So if you find yourself putting the same team on the same parlay, you better make it interesting. You better like change it, money line, you maybe under over, but don't put Florida State, even though you know that they're gonna beat them probably by that much. You don't want to have Florida State on 8 parlays winning by 38. Because if they lose by 1 point, you're fucked and you're pissed. Right? That's it. So, love, peace, and hair grease. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'll do this every night. Every night. We'll talk about any updates with the Nolan Wells and stuff. If that stuff doesn't happen, if nothing happens, then we'll just talk all sports. Now, it's going to be a time where we just do all sports, right? I just got on that Nolan Wells thing because I just got hooked on it for a hot minute. Didn't really know too much about the what do you call it? Austin and Karmelo. I didn't know, but I just got nosy and I just wanted to know. And like I was saying earlier, I know I said I was going to talk about it on here, and I had a big thing, right, that I was ready to roll because Austin was the first guy that I did, and he was jacked up. But then I went and did Karmelo, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's just as fucking bad. So I'm like, you know what? I don't, whatever. So let's get at you guys tomorrow and we'll talk more about getting money. Look at these parlays. Like I said, I take what Vegas gives me. I take what they give me because trust me, Vegas don't. When they give you something, you got to take it because you fuck Vegas because Vegas is going to fuck you. And watch this, guys. The more you hit, you'll get suspended for dumb shit. I've been getting when during the football season start. I gotta have another platform because FanDuel will find a way to screw you. Who is that guy that's head over the fighting, the cage fighting thing? Dana, whatever, right? And I like that guy. And then I used to always watch him like, dang, Vegas fucks him over. Well, it gets so bad with him when Dana, when he gets a phone call, he knows it's Vegas. He knows that they're gonna ban him because he's winning so much. They don't like when you win. So just know, make sure you stay in good standings with the different platforms because once we start hitting guys, they find little cheap freaking ways to ban you. Like, well, you're using somebody's credit card. And I was like, I've never seen that card before in my life. Oh, well, we'll call you back. Well, guess what time they call me back? 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Oh, all of the games are over with. Amazing. Oh, Ron, that was a mistake. It was our error. All right. Love, peace, and hair grease. You guys are so awesome. Let's get at it. Let's do it tomorrow. Love.